Hola a todos y bienvenidos a este primer Tech Story que estamos haciendo de parte de Perficient. El día de hoy vamos a tener tres maravillosos speakers que nos estarán contando un poco de su historia, de cómo llegaron a Perficient, de cómo llegaron a esta industria de la tecnología y también cómo han crecido pues en esta industria y también en la empresa. Antes que nada quisiera agradecerles a todos por estar aquí el día de hoy, es un placer estar nuevamente con ustedes y vamos a esperar unos minuticos para que la gente se empiece a conectar, unos 5 minuticos que sabemos que a veces se pueden demorar. Y mientras tanto me gustaría dejarlos con unos videos que les van a contar un poquito más acerca de lo que es Perficient y bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos por estar aquí el día de hoy.
I have been working here for a long time, so I played multiple roles. That's one of the cool things here, that you can move from one role to other if you're willing to do so.
I started working here as a customer experience analyst. I worked in that position for 2 years, and after that the company gave me the chance to start working as a QA analyst. I just wanted to be more involved in the engineering side. Even though I'm not an engineer, I wanted to learn.
You have the culture of sharing experiences, so you always have the opportunity to know from other teams on other kind of projects that allow us to jump to another projects if you want to learn other technologies, or if you want to work in a completely different way.
People are amazing here. I have a lot of friends here. The environment is very nice. You can learn about new stuff every day. You have the chance to be in very interesting projects. And I think if you are able and you really want to do it, and you have the company support to do it, you can get everything you want.
I would like to feel that I'm adding value to what we do here. I want to make something important, and I want to help people. I want to help the team to succeed, and I'm feeling, I'm doing good while doing these things. And that's what keeps me motivated to come every day here.
Somos ese lugar lleno de magia, donde la creatividad y la inspiración se encuentran con todo lo que somos. Francos y éticos, siempre. Aventureros, pragmáticos, exploradores y curiosos por excelencia. Nuestra pasión nos mueve a convertir nuestros sueños en realidades. Y son los amigos, las sonrisas y las ganas los que alimentan nuestros deseos de ir por más. Creemos en la cooperación y en la confianza para lograr la grandeza como equipo. Y entendemos que solo tenemos éxito cuando nuestros clientes también lo tienen. Vemos más allá de los colores, los gustos y las nacionalidades. Vemos cientos de historias que merecen ser escuchadas y compartidas con el mundo. Por eso valoramos el talento, reconocemos el esfuerzo y recompensamos los resultados, prometiendo desafiar, apoyar y celebrar siempre a nuestra gente, llenándonos todos los días de orgullo por ser parte de Perficient. Y por eso hoy, juntos, nos convertimos en el power latino que está transformando el mundo tech, escribiendo líneas al ritmo de un beat, a la vez que escribimos líneas al ritmo del beep, escribiendo en distintos lenguajes para hablar un mismo idioma que nos une. ¿Estás inspirado? Ahora es tu turno de hacer las cosas diferentes, desafiarte todos los días a ser mejor, más grande, atreverte a crecer a tu ritmo y sin límites, celebrando todo eso que te hace único, encontrando tu propósito para ser feliz, mientras nosotros cumplimos el nuestro. Ayudarte a encontrarlo. Es el momento para que juntos transformemos la industria, las personas y el mundo. ¿Estás listo para ponerle ritmo al futuro? Be Proudly Proficient.
Bueno, nuevamente muchas gracias a todos por estar acá, las personas que han ido llegando mientras están los videos, bienvenidos a este primer Tech Stories que hacemos en Perficient. Les estaba contando un poquito y la razón por la que le pusimos Grow Your Own Way es porque hoy les traemos 3 historias de 3 mujeres increíbles acerca de su crecimiento, no solo en la compañía, sino en la industria, para todas las personas que de pronto están en la industria y quisieran llevar su carrera por otro lado a un siguiente nivel y no saben cómo hacerlo. La idea es que tomen en cuenta todas las experiencias, consejos que estas mujeres maravillosas tienen para darles. Y nada, ya yo no les echo más cháchara porque yo sé que no vinieron por mí, sino por ellas. Entonces me gustaría darles la bienvenida a Dianette, a Luisa y a Melanie, que de hecho, como pudieron ver en las publicaciones, Melanie nos acompaña desde Atlanta, entonces en este momento, para que ella también pueda ser parte de la conversación, vamos a cambiar a inglés. Entonces, right now, I'm changing to English, and I would like to thank you girls for being here today. How are you? How are you feeling? I don't know, Melanie, how are you?
Good afternoon. I'm excited. I'm excited to participate in this and with these amazing women beside me.
Awesome. We're really happy to have you here. And actually, we are really excited because we have, like, these girls are from different countries. We have Janet, that actually she's Cuban, but she's living in Uruguay right now. We have Lu, that it's living in Colombia, in Medellin. And we have you, Melanie, that you live in the US, in Atlanta. So we are really excited because we have, like, different stories that we don't know how this is gonna end up. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Janet, Lu, how are you guys?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you, Mafe, and thank you, Dianette and Melanie, to sharing this time and this space with me. And I'm super happy to be here, also sharing a little bit about my experiences to all the people that are here right now. So nice to meet you.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thanks for being also with me, guys. Yeah. I'm excited to be here and share my experience with you.
Awesome, girl. So let's kind of start. And I would like to start with a question about, like, I don't know if maybe you can tell me or tell us a little bit about your experience, like starting in the industry. How did you decide, like, to say, like, hey, I'm gonna study this, and I would like to do this in my life? And for example, Dianette, for you, what it was like to move from, because I know that you've been working in telecommunications industry, like to move from that industry to the software industry, and also to move from Cuba to Uruguay. Like, how was the process? How did you, like, took the decisions and everything?
When I work on the telecommunication industry, I was a salesperson, a programmer of communication devices, a tester. I had to learn things like what is a frequency, understand how telecommunication systems work, like ELT, for example. Things like that honestly I don't remember right now, but at that time I had to understand them to be able to do the work that I had to do. And that was great because that taught me that you don't have to be just one role. You can be wherever you want, wherever is needed in your company. You just have to prepare yourself and learn from your teammates and trust in yourself. When I started working for a pure software company, I was able to apply that. Sometimes doing tasks that I never did before, but I had the confidence that I can do it. I just have to study and learn, and even if I don't have much experience of that. And now moving from Cuba to Uruguay, it's been difficult. Not the part of getting here, but the part of me missing home. I left Cuba looking for opportunities to fulfill my dreams, to do the things that I want to do in my life, to grow as a person, as a professional. But leaving my country, my family, people that I love, it's been the most difficult thing that I've done in my life. After a short time that I got here, the pandemic started. And me missing home and being locked down put me in a mental state of constant sadness and pain and even sometimes anger. And I was able to overcome that due to my friends. I have amazing friends. One of them is a childhood friend, and the other ones I met them here. They are Cubans as me, and they also work on the software industry. And they stood with me during that period. I was not a fun person to be around, but they stood with me anyway and support me until I was able to go on my own, and they helped me to overcome that sadness, insecurities, anxieties, the whole package. I will be always grateful for that. They are my adopted family. Now, Uruguay, my adopted country. I love Uruguay, its culture, its spirit of freedom, women's empowerment. One of the things that caught my attention when I got here was the spirit of Uruguayans to fight for their rights, how vocal they are when something seems to them as an injustice. And that is very inspiring. Here I have found those things, those opportunities I was looking for, the possibility to pursue the things that I want to do in my life. I have grown as a person and as a professional working in the software industry that this country has a lot to offer in that matter. And also, Uruguayans are so welcoming. I feel like home. I have met great people, a lot of them in this company. I feel lucky to be here, and I'm grateful to Uruguay to let us come here.
That's just like awesome. Like I totally admire you. Like then, like as you were saying, like it's not easy. Like I'm like just thinking when I move like from one city to another city here in my country, and that maybe I'm a part of my family. I'm like, oh my god, like sad. I cannot even imagine like moving out of the country, and with the pandemic, that it was crazy. Like the lockdown, like for everybody, I think that it was like really hard. I totally admire you, like for sure. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I think that so many people is gonna feel like wow. So thank you so much for that, Annette.
Thanks to you.
And I would like to ask you, Lu Rivera, like how was your experience getting to like into the industry? How did you end up here, working here? Like how was
Sure.
everything?
Sure. So actually, this is kind of a very funny story. So when I graduated from college, I had like a plenty of opportunities to start my career or like professional life because I am industrial engineer. I'm not a system engineer, but industrial. So I could like work in any department of a company. However, I started in a company with like coaching company. This is something that I really liked it by the time. Like I really wanted to learn about coaching, and then I started in the commercial department. So I started as a commercial lead, and then soon I realized that I wasn't enjoying what I was doing in the sales department. Like I felt that I didn't connect my skills with the things or with the tasks that I was performing during that time in that role. So then I started like no, I shouldn't be here. Like no, I shouldn't do this if I'm not enjoying this. And that was my first job, and then was kind of hard to quit because a lot of people just told me, no, Lou, wait, find another job, just stay there for a little more, and then you see maybe you are wrong, maybe that's the good place for you, or the things that maybe you want to do. But inside me, like my guts were like, no, I'm not enjoying this, I'm not good at this, and I think I am wasting my time, and also I think this company can have another person that performs better than me. And then I just realized, and I said, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna leave, and even though I don't have another job right now, I have a philosophy. It's kind of a cliche philosophy, and it is that you only live once. And then I said, okay, I only have one life, and I don't see myself doing this for a long time. So I'm not gonna stay doing something that I don't really like it, and then quit. And then soon I just got a proposal to work in an IT consulting firm, and that was the way I entered in this industry. And like from the beginning, from the 0 day to right now, I felt like, oh, wow, I really found what I really like to do for a long time in my life, for the rest of my life. And I also feel that this industry connects a lot with my skills, and I think that was one of the best decisions that I made of my life, like just quitting this first job that didn't like connecting with the things that I really wanted or the things that I really visualized for me in the future. And then yes, that's why I'm here right now. If no, I wouldn't stay here sharing this kind of experiences.
And it's just crazy because as you were telling us, like sometimes people around you is like, no, you're crazy. You cannot quit. Like you're not gonna find
Yeah,
another job like that one. And you're like, oh my
yeah,
God, am I taking the right decision? What I'm gonna do? Like, yeah, I think that actually it happened to me too. And it's just crazy. But sometimes you just have to be brave and take that steps, because if you don't do it, like nobody's gonna make it for you. And at the end of the day, you're the one who's living your life. So if you're not
exactly.
happy, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, probably it's not there where you
You
have
can
to be.
focus your energy in another stuff that maybe like helps you to create something bigger and something better for you.
Yeah, like sometimes we just have to listen to ourselves. We don't have to ask some others. Like I'm not saying like all the time, but yeah, in cases like this, like you make a really good choice, and I'm glad you made it. Thank you so much, Lou, for sharing your experience. And what about you, Melanie? I'm curious about your story.
My story with Proficient or my story overall?
Like overall, like how did you came like to the industry, and how did you end up here at Proficient?
Very interesting. So, my degree is in exercise science. So, I had planned on going into physical therapy, and I interned in physical therapy, and I figured out that I didn't like the close proximity and the touching of people on the job. And I had, similar to Danette, I made a move. Cross cities, not cross countries. But, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I wanted to go to the South. So I took a leap of faith and moved to Atlanta right out of college. And I had an internship in physical therapy. And, I quickly realized that it wasn't for me and it wasn't my passion, kind of like Louisa was saying. And so, but then I was, in a city with not many friends, no family. And I had to figure out, okay, well, I want to stay here. I love it here. What do I do for a job, and how do I pay for my bills and all that sort of thing? So I started looking through, the available positions, and I found a data entry clerk in an accounting firm. And so I started there. And I had no business classes in college either. So that was kind of a big shift, but I convinced them that I could do the job. And I got a lot of great experience in that role. And I had a great manager and a great mentor that helped me grow as a person, both professionally and personally. So that was pretty exciting. But, that still wasn't my passion. And so I was friends with one of the partners in the accounting firm, and it was a woman. And she was like, we have this client. It's a small consulting firm, and I really think that you'd be the right fit for their culture. And so I applied for a human resources role in that company, and I got that. And I did. I loved the culture. It was kind of a startup environment, very exciting, fast paced. You got to wear a lot of hats. You could kind of shape where you wanted to go. And so I started to, interact with the consultants in that company. And I was very intrigued by what they do and how they help clients. And, even just looking at like a process flow document, it was interesting to me. So I started to do like internal consulting for the consulting firm to improve kind of their processes. And I caught the eye of some of the consultants, and I convinced them to put me on a billable project. And so that's really how I got into the industry. And my first project was, and I'm not technical whatsoever, but my first project was HTML and building web pages for in the banking industry. And so I quickly, teamed up with a developer and kind of learned, fairly quickly on the job. But it was a great experience. It was, really exciting. And that kind of launched my consulting career. And also, so I stayed with them for probably 5 years and moved through a couple other companies. And about 11 years ago, so Perficient grows tremendously through acquisitions, as we all know. And I was part of an acquisition over 11 years ago with Perficient. I started as a senior project manager, working on a large telecommunications client as well. And I love working with clients. It affords me ability to learn new industries, meet many fascinating people, and challenges me to, be the best that I can be. And so, you have to be open to new opportunities and be able to see these opportunities as a path to great challenges, both professionally and personally. So, I took that, I was with the acquisition. The prior company I was with was a smaller company, and Perficient at the time was around 2,000 people or 3,000 people. So not quite the size we are even today. And it was daunting to me. I was like, wow, do I really want to be with a larger company? But just keeping an open mind and seeing where kind of things take you from a career standpoint, I think has been, really exciting for me. And, I quickly moved from the senior manager role into a delivery director role, as part of growing out that existing client that I was on. And, you take on more responsibilities, both on the client site and internally, and you start to, meet people across Perficient and build relationships with them. And, I had an opportunity. I had a new general manager come in and, they asked if I wanted to move into more of an operational role and a pre-sales role and learn more about the business. And so that was really exciting for me. And so, of course, I jumped right into it. And what I didn't realize, or what I did realize in that role, it was really kind of building the foundation for me to enter the role that I'm in now. And so when that general manager left, I, quickly raised my hand and said, I want it. I can do it. Pick me. And, Perficient saw the potential in me and allowed me to take on this role. And it's been amazing ever since.
Oh my God, like you have like a crazy story. Like I can like kind of feel like related to that story because actually I study something like really different from what I'm doing right now. A professional in international affairs and political science, and I'm working at a software company and the marketing team. It's just crazy, but yeah, like at the end of the day, as we were saying before, like what really matters is that we are happy doing what we're doing and that we feel great growing like with these steps and stuff like that. And regarding like everything you were telling us before, like you've been working here for 11 years. Actually, I think that we also been part of acquisitions because actually Dianet was part of Overactive. You were telling us that you were part of a small company, and Lou and we were part of PSL, and we know that sometimes acquisitions are like not maybe the easiest thing on earth, and more even when we're talking about a company that it's as big as Perficient. And you've been working here 11 years. That's just crazy. Like, wow, it's crazy. So I would like to ask you, like, why or what's the reason that you say this is the reason why I choose to be working here day by day, like for the last 11 years? Why is that?
I would say my top answer are the people. I love the people at Perficient. The culture is very in line with how I, feel and like to do business. I feel like it's a family. I feel like going to work, you have your friends, your support system. And I just really feel like the people really help us stand out. And it's a place that I think, fosters relationships and entrepreneurship and, just support across the network. So I would say the people for sure.
Like it's awesome. And what you were saying before, like about the culture, in that at the moment that you saw like the general manager position was open and you raised your hand and you're like, hey, I want to go for it. I feel that it's also really important when you have like colleagues, or yeah, that support you and believe in you, and they like push you to do stuff like that. Like in your story, I totally can feel that we actually challenge, champion, and celebrate our people and everything they do in the company. That's awesome, because like, yeah, that's the best example like ever to really
The
say that.
possibilities are endless. Mhm.
Yeah, like, yeah, actually I was talking to some people today, because here at Colombia, and actually I would like to invite you guys. We are on Colombia 4.0 on Corferias, for people who wants to come and visit and know a little bit more about us. We were talking with them, and I was saying like, yeah, like the only thing that it's maybe, I don't know, like batching the step that you're doing, it's your mind. Like you can go wherever you want to go. Like if you want to do it, we're gonna be here helping you to do it. It's just up to you. So yeah, it was example. Thank you so much for that story and for sharing that with us, Melanie.
Or
And I would like to ask Janet and Lou like a really similar question, and basically is, how has it been like your time at Profusion? And the same, like, why do you decide to continue growing with us, like day by day? Whoever wants to answer first, maybe Lou. That Janet was the first
Okay.
little last question.
Okay. So I would describe my time at Perfusion as a challenge from the beginning to now. Like it has been an amazing path to work within a company. As Melanie mentioned, like we have an excellent coworkers here. Sorry. Yeah, we have an excellent coworkers here. We have an excellent culture, like where the people is the first or the most important thing here, and I love that from Perfusion. So you are always challenged here. You always have something to do better. You always have something to improve. You always have a coworker that is willing to help you to grow. And yeah, I think that my time at Perfusion has been from the zero part, from the beginning, a challenge. I'm gonna tell you this story. So this is funny because when I had the first interview, like the technical interview, the interview was in English. I mean, one part of the interview was in English because I was going to be part of a global company with global clients. So I was super excited, but I also I was super nervous about to have that interview, and then I failed the interview in the in English part, and then I was super upset with myself. I was like, no, I cannot work right now with international clients. That was my dream, like to work in an international in a multinational company and work with UX clients or clients around the world. And then I just failed it, and I said, no, I should go back to US, I study English. I'm not able to work right now in English. But then the company just gave me like a second chance and to have another interview in English. And then I passed that one because the company just realized that I was super nervous, that I was panicking. And they said, okay, let's check again your English. And then I had this second chance. And then I just could join the company. And of course, the company just said me, okay, you have a good level of English, but you need to keep practicing and you need to keep studying English and to keep improving your level, because the greatest your level in English, the greatest your connection with the clients and in the projects. And then yes,
And
from that day
I
I
just wanna
started.
say, and here we are having a tech talk, like a tech
Yeah.
stories in English. So it's just crazy.
It is super crazy. It is super crazy. It's a challenge. Like this tech talk is a challenge for me today. From that day until now, I keep studying English like every week. Like I am studying with the things that the company offers to study English. I also have a teacher that is here looking his student.
like,
And
she's doing great. She's doing great. She's doing great.
and yeah, and then as I mentioned, it has been a challenge from the beginning to now. There are like more challenges, and one of them can be like, for example, when I joined the company, soon I realized that we were working like separate in my role, in the product role. And I was like, hey, what about we have something to create like a community? What about we connect with each other, like we have a book club or something like this? So I have coworkers that just help me to like build this idea. And yes, Lou, why not? Let's do it. What do you need? What do we need for having that book club? And then we started with some other coworkers inspired by this initiative. We started this book club, and then we started connecting like the product people, and we start sharing like this moment, like experiences, and helping and knowing who were also part of the product role in that moment, at that moment in PSL. So and then I started just knocking the door. I said like this. I was just like a knocking the door at Perficient saying, hey, I have this idea. Who else want to join? And let's do a book club. Let's do something for our role. And then right now I am responsible for the product hub. And then I started from that moment to be involved in interviews, on to all the staffing processes. Then I started to also mentoring coworkers, also training, and also helping teams with the performance. And I started involved in another areas of the company, not just in the product owner side, like in the projects, but also working with my coworkers, working with the client, the company clients, working with the teams. And it has been like a challenge, and it has been amazing the way that the company also allows you to, like, when you knock the door, as what that happened with Melanie, the company just opened a world of opportunities. So yeah, it has been a challenge time, and super happy to be here.
But yeah, like actually, I think that also one of my favorite things of working here at Perfusion is just what you were saying. That you just have like an idea, and if you wanna make it, you just have to go there, say like, hey, I would like to do this, and of course they're like, okay, yeah, like what do you need? Like we're gonna give you people. Let's gonna do it. Like it's the answer is never no. It's like, okay, let's gonna check it, how we can do and stuff like that. So it's awesome, like to feel that support like from everybody. It's not just like the support from your team, but I feel like the support like actually from everybody. So it's awesome, like that feeling. It's like I'm in the right
Yeah,
place.
exactly.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Lou. And what about you, Dianette? That actually you're the one who's been like less time here. But yeah, tell us about like how was like this getting here, and why are you like saying every day like I would like to stay here working here?
Well, I joined the company 7 months ago. I was hoping to have the chance to work as an automation engineer. That was what I wanted to do for a long time, but I was not able to do it full time at that moment. So I didn't have much experience on that role. I was really worried that that could be an impediment, and I talked to the leaders and the project managers and explained them that that was what I wanted to do, and they gave me the opportunity. And I'm currently working doing automation testing. I am really loving it. I'm taking trainings, I'm going to take certifications, and I'm gaining skills and experience on that role. That's uh, all that I wanted.
Like yeah, it's like whatever you want to be, you can like have it here. I love that, and I'm so happy that we all have like the opportunity to do that, like to do whatever we want to do like with our careers. And sometimes like we change minds, so we can change minds in a couple of months, saying like, hey, probably this is not what I wanted, I would like to go this way. Probably the answer is gonna be like, yes, let's gonna check how we are gonna do it, but let's gonna do it. So I'm really happy to hear that like you have been like supported by the company by doing what you want to do and what make you happy, that at the end of the day it's what really matters. I would like to ask this question like to all of you, and whoever wants to go first, you can go ahead and do it. And it's like, what gaps or skills do you feel that the company, that Proficient, has helped you develop to get where you are right now?
I can jump on that.
Go ahead.
Well, for me, it has helped me to increase my technical skills that I need for the role that I want, automation and skills, for example, in Cypress, JavaScript, TypeScript. And it has been by giving me access to trainings, to people with knowledge in that field, time to learn, and the opportunity also to put them in practice. It has helped me to also to develop my communication skills, that it's so important in this work. Like being part of a team with members of different countries definitely helps you to develop that, and it's also a great opportunity to learn from other cultures.
That's what I like. One of the things I like the most, probably, like to get to know different people from different cultures. Actually, recently I was in Medellin and meeting part of my team. I was meeting someone from the US that actually she's Mexican, but she's working in the US, and I was meeting someone from Uruguay. And it's just crazy how different we are. Like, even inside the country, like a lot of my partners are from Medellin. I live in Bogota, and we are like really different. So get to learn to everything, to everyone, into different cultures. That's awesome, and I think that not a lot of people had like the opportunity to do that, and to do that like really often. Because I feel like all the time we were talking from people from the US, from Colombia, from Uruguay, from Argentina, sorry. So it's just like crazy, but I love that. What about you, Melanie? What do you feel that are those skills that you have learned here?
Gosh, I would say, obviously I've gone through a lot of roles here, Proficient, and been able to kind of flex my skill set, along the way. I still learn on a daily basis. I think, there's different challenges that are presented to you, especially in a managing director role. And you really have to be very agile, and you have to be able to pivot. And, it's exciting to get these things kind of tossed at you on a recurring basis, which really kind of helps you think through, how am I doing something and how can I do something better? And it really challenges you to think about yourself, as a person, as a professional, and how you can continue to improve upon that. I wouldn't say there's one skill set or one gap that I could identify. I would just say it's an evolving process, and will continue to be an evolving process, but it's a pretty exciting one as well. And Mafe, I know there's a question in the chat. I didn't know if we wanted to jump into that one, or if we're going to wait.
I'm gonna wait until the end, but I already read it, and it's a really good question. Actually, I'm really excited to hear the answer of this question. And actually, I would like to take advantage of this space to tell you guys that you can make your questions there in the part that says comentarios or comments. You can write them or in English or even in Spanish, and if they are in Spanish, I can translate them. So don't worry, please put all your questions there. And Lou, what about you?
So yeah, as Melanie mentioned, I am just a work in progress, professional and human. So yeah, a lot of things I have learned since I joined the company. So I can, as I mentioned before, we work in an excellent environment. So when you work in an excellent environment, you always learn from the people, from the processes. So Perficient has a big, like a huge experience on the IT industry. So there are tons of technical skills that you can develop here. So for example, in my case, I developed a lot I don't know, product management skills, like how to exceed client expectations, how to work with teams and to empower them towards our clients' goals, and also working in an agile environment. So I learned a lot about I before to join Proficient, I knew about agile, and I was trying to implement that in my last company. But then here I go like a place where everybody really trusts in agile, like everybody really like breathe the agile principles. So yeah, I think that was one of the things that I have learned the most, and I am still learning a lot. Every day I learned a lot. And but I also have to say that here you don't only like improve your tech skills or your potentialize your tech skills, but you also potentialize and learn about the soft or the human skills. Because for us it's very important. Like one day I was talking with our general manager from Perficient Latam, and she was saying something super nice that I really like. It really resonates with me, and it was that I was amazed about the way that in this company we grow both in the personal or in the personal life, but also in the professional. And she was saying, yes, Luisa, because there is no option to separate the personal and the professional. We are just one human being, and that's totally right. So I have learned a lot in the human skills, like the leadership skills, like communication, negotiation, openness, conflict resolution, and yeah, with all the challenges that I face every day, I learned new things every day, and there is always a better way to do the things that we already learned. So yeah, every day we learn a lot here. But yeah, here you can learn the technical, but also it's important to grow in the personal life.
Okay, regarding that, I think that it's a perfect time to answer the question that one of our, well, the people that are seeing us ask. And whoever wants to answer can answer, okay? So basically, the question is, what advice can you give to women like you who have managed to balance their careers and grow so much and at the same time balance their family life?
I'll jump in. That's a great question.
Go ahead.
I became a mom in these 11 years as well with Proficient. So obviously you change as a person. Your dynamics change. As you continue to advance in your career. And but family to me is very important, and it's equally as important as my professional career. And it was a huge shift for me becoming a mom. My husband and I are very both driven professionally, and we work really hard and in typically long hours, especially back earlier on. And trying to kind of juggle what that means to bring a son into the world. And it was interesting because obviously we both work full time, so we put our son into daycare. And with daycare comes illnesses and sicknesses and, and everything else. And so you get called while you're at work saying, your son has a fever, you need to come pick him up. And I mean, there's just so many things that kind of throw it in. And, I would say we're probably both very kind of controlling people as well. And so adding a child in kind of throws in an element of kind of uncontrolled chaos. And so you really have to learn to pivot and kind of, relax and take things as they come. And, you have to really prioritize your time. You can't work as much as you did probably when you were, didn't have a family. And, you have to make sure that you are putting as much effort into, your professional life as your personal life. So, there's a balance. You have to decide what that balance is. But, you only from a mom's perspective, you're only a mom once, and there's only a finite number of years where there's certain ages, and you don't want to miss that either. You always say, like, is work going to remember that you left a meeting 15 minutes early to get to your son's soccer game? But your son will remember if you don't show up.
Yeah,
That's true.
I will also add something to that. That if you there is something important when you work with people and in a leadership roles, and I would say this: you gotta empower people so you can achieve goals through the people. So you can work on teams. You can like you can have a goal, but you don't need to work all yourself, but instead work with the team and work with the people surround you. So in our company we have a skill that is achieved through others. I don't know how to translate that, Mafe. So the achievement through other people, like that is kind of a leader that empower others towards the goal. So it means that you don't need to do everything by yourself, but you can just empower the team, and then you win together goals. So I would provide that advice also, because in the end, yeah, the list of things never is gonna end. Like, yeah.
You're always
So
gonna
but
have
then
something to do.
you have
Yeah.
only two hands, and you are only one person. But when you work collaborative with others, you're gonna win quickly, you're gonna win earlier, you're gonna win in agile method. But you don't need to be the hero, you don't need to be the only one doing everything. You can empower teams and people.
To be a team player. That's a good one. And Diana, do you want to say something, or do you want us to continue with the next question?
I just want to add also, adding healthy habits like good alimentation, do like exercise. Like Melanie said, it's very important to have a balance in our career, mainly on the IT that we spend 8 hours sitting in front on the desk, and it's also we have to take care of our family and our own. That's all.
Yeah, like, and actually, I think that that's really important because sometimes it happens that you have like so much things to do at work and with your family that you leave yourself apart. Like, you matter, and if you're not okay, you're not gonna be okay with your family or at work or with your friends or whatever. So for sure, I think that that's also a really good advice to take care of you, to make sure that you're okay, and then like to try to, I don't know, make plans and try to find that balance between work and life. That actually sometimes it's not just like with children or with kids, but also, like in my case, for example, I'm a dancer, and dance for me it's really important. So I try always to find balance between, okay, I have to do this for sure, but I also like need to dance, like it's my therapy, so I need to do it. So I try to find a way like to do it. And I think that also something important is to learn how to say no, because sometimes people has in mind that no, yes, I have to say everything yes, and I have to do everything, because if not, what is my boss gonna tell about me, or my leader, or my team, or my family? But no, like, yeah, sometimes it's hard, but for sure it's like totally okay if you say no. So yes, thank you so much for that question. I don't know how to read the name of the Dauriki. Well, yeah, sorry if I didn't spell it right. But thank you so much. It was a really, really good question. We are already finishing. I have two more questions for you girls. And remember, guys, that if you want to make questions, please make it, and then we're going to answer them. And for what I've heard of your stories and everything you have told us today, girls, I think, or I could say, or I feel like you are in the place you want to be. So I would like to ask you, like, what have you found here at Proficient that has convinced you of that you're in the right place, that you're like in the right industry, in the right company? And I would like to ask also Lou, that I know that you have been working like in several industries, as you were telling us, like retail, mass consumption, software as a service. Like, what difference do you find with us, that we are like a digital transformation consultant, like the IT consulting, and what makes you feel that you are like in the right place right now?
Okay, yes, I have been in multiple industries, especially with software projects, or mainly. So I think yes, there are differences between like working on an outsourcing company, like in our case, or working for an own product, or that for an internal client. There are some differences, but in the end, like if I when I think about it, in the end, you gotta work with clients, you gotta work with teams, you gotta work with end users, with the stakeholders in both cases, even though external or internal. But you gotta create connections with them and work together towards a product or goal. But the difference is that I found that maybe I like the most about working on an outsourcing company is that even though the client is the owner of the product because it's the one who is paying for that product, right? It doesn't mean that you don't need to be empowered about the product, and it doesn't mean that it's not your product. Like in the end, if the client is successful or if the product is successful, it means that you as a professional you are a successful person or professional. Your team is successful as well. So that is one of the challenge working on the outsourcing company, that we need to empower like ourselves. In my case, in the product owner role or in the business role, you need to empower yourself toward that product because it's your product, even though you're not part of that inside of that client. So in the end, our goal is that our client said, hey, this is not just a vendor. Like Perficient is not just a vendor. Perficient is my partner. Perficient is the company that helps me to create software because they are the experts about IT or about software projects. So this is my partner, and this is my partner because the people that works there help me really to create this product and are willing to achieve our goals as well. So empowered, you need to learn about that client, the motivations and why the client thinks like the way they think and how the client is organized. And you got to know about that industry and yeah, empower, like this is your product as well. And in the same case, we need to work with the teams, like we cannot we cannot build a project alone. Like just the project managers or the business consultant or the product owners cannot build a project alone. We need a team to create that project and that product. And yeah, we need to empower them as well, so they commit with the product and the goals that we want to achieve. And the other thing that I found fascinated about working on an outsourcing company, in this case working in Perficient, is that we have plenty lists of clients and then plenty lists of industries. So for example, in my case, I love to learn. I am a learner person. I love to learn about all the industries, about everything. I am fascinated about any kind of story, any kind of industry. So I really enjoyed the opportunity that we have here to be in one project or another anytime we want. So we have world-class businesses or clients, and I love to learn about these world-class businesses, because if I learn that, I'm knowing what's happening in the world, and I'm knowing how the world is working. So I really enjoy that, and I really appreciate that from this company. It doesn't mean that I know there are a lot of people that likes to specialize in some industries, like for example in the healthcare or fintech, and it is nice, it is good too. But for example, in my case, I prefer to learn about multiple industries, and I found that fascinated. And here is super easily. You can be in a project, you can be in an industry, but then you can raise your hand and say, hey, I want to learn, for example, about, let's say, blockchain. I want to be in a project with blockchain. I want to be there. Can I be there? And then the company helps you to get where you want to get. So yeah, I think I found those things fascinating.
Awesome. Thank you, Lou, for that. And what about you, Janet? What are those things that you say, like, yeah, I'm in the right place?
Yes, as Lou was saying, this company has a wide range of projects in which we can work. Also, as a leading digital consultancy, it drives you to grow as a professional. It has tools for learning and development, great people to work with, a good working environment. Very important, about we were talking before, here I found a balance in my life, not being stressed or pressure, nor having to work overtime allows me to balance my professional and personal life in a healthy way, which is very important for me to be able to continue here for a long time.
That's awesome. What about you, Melanie?
I would echo the same thing that Lou and Dinette said. Consulting in general, once I fell into it, I knew that was the place I always wanted to be. I love the variety. I love the challenge. I love learning like new industries, new companies, meeting interesting people. You get exposed to so many people, on projects, on client sites, in, events. And it's an exciting and challenging environment for me. And so, and again, Perficient specifically, the culture and the, kind of the work-life balance aspect of it, I think is a great place to land if that's, a priority for you.
Awesome. I totally agree with you guys. That's all I can say. You ask me, I also feel like I'm in the right place, and basically it's just because of that. And we have like 4 minutes left, yes, to finish. So I'm gonna make the last question. You guys can answer in the order that you want. And it's basically, I would like to know if you look back, can you say that you have turned like your professional dreams into realities?
Well, I can jump on that.
Go ahead.
I can say that I have fulfilled all my dreams, not yet, but because I have so many dreams, and as time goes by, I keep adding more and more to the list. But I am pursuing those dreams. I feel that in this company, I am in the right way to meet my goals, doing the work that I love to do, having new things to learn every day, new challenges, a way to grow in the company, the support of my coworkers, and also the opportunity to work with people that are experts in the field.
That's awesome. So basically, yes, you have like make dreams come true, but there's a lot of there is a
Yeah,
list.
like
Yeah, for sure. It always happens that you're like, okay, check, but I'm gonna add this other one. It always happens. What about you? I don't know, Melanie.
So I would say Proficient has challenged me to dream bigger. And because of that, I've exceeded, what I even thought was possible and continue to do so on a daily basis. You don't even know that you maybe have a dream until something presents itself in front of you. And I feel like Proficient has done an amazing job doing that, or creating an environment where that's possible. And so, there's an incredible support system here at Proficient, and you have to be willing to leverage that and be open-minded. And so, yes, I would say definitely a yes, and continue to excel, as Danette was mentioning.
I'm so happy to hear that. Like, it really makes me like happy. And what about you, Lou?
Yeah, same here as Melanie and Dianette. So I have met a lot of dreams here, like or through profession, like working here. Like as I mentioned, I always dream about to work for an international company, for an outsourcing company, working with world class clients, and I met it. I was dreaming about to work in English, and then here I am in this tech in this tech talk with you guys in English. So yes, I had made a lot of dreams, and also yes, I continue dreaming about a lot of stuff, and I know I'm super sure that I can meet all my dreams in this company, because this company always helped me to grow, and always is helping me to like being motivated here, and like just knock the door, and then other opportunities are just there for you.
That's awesome. Uh, well, guys, I think that we are like finishing already. I'm seeing that we have a shy audience today because they just asked like one question, and another person say that we have just a number, not a name, but this person told us like, I love your story, it's very inspiring for me. And actually I think that it's not just for that person but for all of us. There's a lot of people watching this and I'm kind of shocked because we usually start with a lot of people and they go out, but what we've been like really good with the audience. So first of all, and once again, I would like to thank you, Janet, Lou, and Melanie, for sharing your stories with us. I know that sometimes it's not easy to be in front of a camera or in front of people saying or telling stories. But I would like to thank you. For me, it was a pleasure to be here talking to you, to hear everything. I've learned a lot about you. And I'm gonna put in practice stuff that you just like gave us, like advices that you just gave us. So Thank you once again for being here. And before we go, I'm gonna change really quickly to Spanish. So don't be afraid, Melanie, everything it's okay. Quisiera agradecerles a todos también en la audiencia por acompañarnos el día de hoy en este primer Tech Stories que hicimos. Si quieren seguir conectados con este tipo, digamos que talks que estamos haciendo y diferentes eventos como, no sé, workshops, bootcamps, training tech talks que son un poco más técnicos, por favor síganos en todas nuestras redes sociales que constantemente estamos pues, publicando todas las cosas que hacemos. Y también me gustaría invitarlos, pues antes que nada, disculparme por el ruido, porque sé que hay un poquito de ruido, pero tiene una razón de ser y es a lo que les voy a invitar. Y es que, bueno, hoy, mañana y pasado mañana, o sea, viernes y sábado, vamos a estar en Colombia 4.0 en Corferias. Vamos a estar en la muestra comercial, que es el pabellón 8, el stand 105. Y también si nos quieren acompañar, tenemos 2 workshops el día de mañana. Uno que va a ser de DevOps, de 9 de la mañana a 12 del mediodía. Y otro que va a ser sobre Machine Learning, de 2 de la tarde a 5 y media, 6 de la tarde. Importante que si vienen a acompañarnos a los workshops, traigan sus computadores, por favor, para que puedan aplicar pues todo lo que se va a hablar ahí. Y también si quieren hacer parte, nuestro General Manager mañana también nos va a estar acompañando, Elvin Jaramillo, en el panel de habilidades de la Cuarta Revolución, con invitados súper chéveres, invitados de la OCDE, del Banco Mundial. Entonces, por favor, no se lo pierdan si nos quieren acompañar. Más que bienvenidos para que conozcan un poquito más de todo lo que hacemos. And I'm gonna go back to English just to say goodbye and thank you so much for like being here, Melanie, Lou, and Janet. I don't know if you want to say something to finish.
Thank you for having us, and thanks all for your time.
It's great being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you, girls. Bye bye. Have
Thank
a
you.
nice
Bye bye.
evening. Bye.